Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now let's jump straight into the TA. So taking a look at the daily chart on TradingView, Solana is currently trading at $23.84. So we have the Fibonacci retracement just like we did in the last update. If you don't know how to use the Fibonacci retracement, there is going to be a link down below in the description to a video where I explain precisely how to use the Fibonacci retracement. So our swing high is going to be all the way up here in November 2021. The swing low is going to be all the way back here in May of 2021. And as you can see, we retested the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement level at $9.36, and we had a wick below that. You also had multiple support blocks here. So you had the large blue support block, then you had the support block below that from $9.86 all the way down to $7.66. And I said, if you lose that support block, you're probably gonna jump into this one and then have a quick recovery. And look at what happened right now. I mean, if you entered here, let's just grab this and see how far we've gone up. So 230%, guys, 230% in a month. Even less than a month. Well, almost a month, yeah. 230%. And I gave you this support block way before we even got into this support block in November, I think. So I've had these set up for quite a while, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, I did give you this in the last video. Personally, I did not buy into Solana. So I'm dark cost averaging into other altcoins, so I don't have money for every single project out there, obviously. And right now, if you bought into Solana, good for you. This was a good entry point. Potentially, this could be our bear market bottom here. But if we do come back down with a pullback, because we're getting pretty overextended here, if we start zooming in, you can see that we're getting pretty overextended. The EMAs are getting overextended from each other. The 20 EMA is the yellow line, the red line is the 55 EMA. And when there is a gap in between them, that is your signal that's telling you, hey, potentially we're going to see a move to the downside because it's getting a bit unhealthy. Also, what you can see is we are having a rising wedge here. And usually a rising wedge is a very bearish pattern, and you typically see a pullback to where the wedge was created at $20.59. That is going to be our technical target for now. And this is going to be this local low that we printed in January of 2019. Potentially, you could come down as low as the 1 fib level at $19, and you can retest that. And the 55 EMA on the daily chart is also a good support level to be looking out for. But really, realistically, the 1.272 is what you should have been targeting once we were in this pullback here at the end of December. And if you set up some buy limit orders, well, like I said, that's good for you. So you also have multiple resistance levels. So we broke above the large blue resistance level here. I know it's a bit confusing with all of the things on the screen. I'm going to try to remove all of that so it's easier to see. So we had this light dark blue resistance trend line. So the April 2nd, 2022 is when we created that trend line. We had another retest in November of 2022. Then we had another retest in January of 2023. We had a little pullback, and now we sort of broke above it. But I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think we're going to hold above it for a very long time. And I think we're going to see a pullback below the blue trend line. If for some reason we continue with this move to the upside, you could run into the yellow resistance trend line, which also has two previous touches, one in August last year, one in November last year. And that can be a good selling point for you. But I would say right now, looking at where the daily RSI is currently sitting at 59, I wouldn't be really selling at this point. But if you take a look at the price here, you can see that you're from the local high here, you're down 10%. So already that's a pretty good pullback. So I wouldn't be selling at this point. You should have been selling way up here at $26, right? When you were sitting at a whopping 16% pullback to the 20 EMA. So right now you're very close to the 20 EMA. If you want a dollar cost average into Solana, you can do that at the 20 EMA, but I would be careful buying into Solana at this very moment because Bitcoin is still very overextended and we're potentially going to see a little pullback, or we're not going to see a pullback. I can't look into the future, but looking at the charts and looking at what we've seen historically in bear markets, this is simply going to be a higher low, right? Or they want us to think that it's going to be a higher low. Either way, I'm set up for the bull market because I do have crypto and I do have some cash on the sidelines for both scenarios. So that's what I'm preaching here on this channel. You have to be ready for both outcomes at all times. So I'm ready for the bull market to start tomorrow, and I'm ready for us to sit in a bear market for the next 6 months because I'll be accumulating like crazy. So like I said, this rising wedge is probably going to play out. We're going to see a retest of $20.60 or $20.50, and that's going to be a good buying opportunity for you. From where we are right now, that is a 15% pullback. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to set up some buy limit orders, you can do that. Also, there's a little trading range that you can look out for here that we created in January as well. So from $17.50 all the way down to $15. That's something that you can take a look at. Now let me bring back everything so that I don't lose. Oh my God, this is going to be quite a while. There we go. So we have our Fibonacci back up. So based off the Fibonacci, our next major resistance level is going to be at $33.37. And that makes sense because we've been hovering around this level since September until November last year, and then we broke down. So we're going to come up potentially to retest that level as resistance. And I also want to switch over to the weekly chart here real quick. And I want to show you the weekly RSI. Was it the weekly or was that the daily RSI that we had here? I think it was the daily. Let's see. Let me zoom in here. I think it was the daily. Yeah. So we had this channel up pattern, as you can see. And every time you get out of the channel up pattern here, you typically see a pullback. This is your signal that you're getting overextended. And the white support trend line here played out perfectly at the end of December. As you can see, 24.6. We had one perfect bounce in November, another perfect bounce in December. And this trend line was set up because we had these two bounces in May and January 2022. So we had this potential entry point in November and we had this entry point in December. So you know, I had all of this on my charts. I showed you all of this. If you paid attention, you could have made bank, to be honest with you, during this bull market or bear market, I should say. So right now, what you could be looking for is the retest of this support of the channel up pattern. So what I'm looking for is for the RSI to come back down here, retest that. That's going to be your entry. Whether it goes up or down afterwards doesn't matter. What's important is that you have a target you're buying off of a support level. That's what's important because you're not, you know, just poking your finger in the sky and you know, hoping that that's a good entry point. No, you have the charts for that very same reason, to have a good entry point. Now let's switch over to the Binance website. And before we continue, I quickly want to ask you, do you value your privacy? If the answer is yes, then you must take a look at ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN offers you the privacy that you deserve, no activity logs and no connection logs. Your internet provider won't be able to access anything, and anyone using the same open free Wi-Fi in the cafe as you won't be able to do any harm or breach your security. You can use the ExpressVPN application on any device. You can connect it to your PlayStation, or you can even connect it to your router so that anyone who connects is automatically secured. Or if you're looking to access any region-blocked content on your streaming platform, well, ExpressVPN can do that as well. If you're living in the Netherlands and you want to access a TV show that's only available in Japan, well, my friend, you can do that with ExpressVPN. You can use the link down below in the description and get a discounted price along with 3 extra months for free. You can get your money back if you don't like it, but I don't see any reason why you wouldn't like it, because we all need the privacy, and in today's age especially. And you can also pay with Bitcoin, so that's a really cool feature as well. And let's get on with the video. Jumping into the weekly chart on the Binance website, as you can see, we do have this major diagonal resistance trend line since November of 2021. So once we break that trend line, I think that's going to be a major signal that we're flipping bullish on Solana. We have this support block anywhere between $10 and $7.87. Obviously, we perfectly retested that. So that was another good entry point for you based off of this weekly chart. And we also had this support level at $4.44, but we're probably not going to see that price for Solana. What is potentially happening here is we're coming back up to retest this area as a resistance. As you can see, we had that as support, and we're coming up to retest that as resistance. You also have the 35 EMA on the weekly chart. Keep an eye on that. That's the green trend line there. And if we jump into the weekly RSI, you can see that we had a channel down pattern here, and we're breaking out of this one. Usually channel down patterns are broken to the upside and the channel up patterns to the downside. So you can see that we're doing everything we need to be doing right now. You could be looking for a good entry off of this high over here, off of this support trend line, based off of this, based off of these two local highs. So we do that and we do that. There we go. As you can see, that is going to be a good entry point, but I'm not saying we're not going to be able to come back lower. I'm just saying technically this is going to be a good entry point. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the RSI. Obviously, if we dump down all the way below the level 30 on the index on the RSI, that's going to be a great entry point, just like we did over here twice. As you can see, once in November, once in January at the end of December. That was a good entry point. And look at this. Every time you're in the oversold, you have a very strong move to the upside. That's just how it works. That's just how it works with these charts. Really good volumes coming in for Solana on the weekly chart. So this is a good confirmation of the breakthrough. So hopefully we're not going to be able to come back down to these levels, and we're going to see only a good uptrend, a good healthy uptrend from here, hopefully. The stochastic on the weekly is starting to recover. That's always good to see. So this was your accumulation phase, and now you're starting to move to the upside. If we manage to get here by August, that's going to be a great area to take some profits. Next, actually, I do think we could probably reach that level in March or April. Also, taking a look at the MACD, we had a nice EMA squeeze here. The moving average bounced off the red signal trend line. And this is basically a lagging indicator that helps you see what the trend is. So we've been in an uptrend on the MACD ever since July. But on the price action, that's not the case. We've been in an uptrend only since December. So hopefully right now we continue with this uptrend, but if we see a pullback, the MACD is going to confirm that pullback only a week later. And once you get the confirmation of the MACD, typically you see the continuation of the trend. So that's where this indicator comes into play. You can't really trade based off of the MACD only. And yeah, I pretty much showed you everything I wanted to. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your time. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to check out my Patreon and my Twitter. There's going to be a 7-day free trial on my Patreon, so you can go through all the content that I've posted since October 2021. If you like it, you can stay. If not, well, just let me know what you didn't like, and I'll hopefully improve in the future. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.